The Battle of Navarino, 1827, is considered one of the most critical turning points in Ottoman history. This battle was not merely a naval engagement, it was a historic rupture that shook Ottoman dominance in the Mediterranean, reshaped European politics, and accelerated the Greek struggle for independence. In the early 19th century, the Ottoman Empire was facing serious challenges, both internally and externally. Nationalist movements were gaining strength in the Balkans, and the Greek Revolt, 1821, had created a significant impact across Europe. The Romantic movement and admiration for ancient Greece generated widespread sympathy for the Greek rebels. Major European powers such as Britain, France, and Russia increased diplomatic pressure on the Ottoman Empire while supporting the Greek cause. As the Ottoman Empire struggled to suppress the uprising, it sought assistance from Muhammad Ali Pasha, the governor of Egypt. Muhammad Ali sent troops to the Morea with his modernized army and navy. Under the command of his son, Ibrahim Pasha, Egyptian forces largely suppressed the Greek rebellion. However, Ibrahim Pasha's harsh measures in the Morea provided European powers with a pretext for intervention. In 1827, Britain, France, and Russia signed the Treaty of London, proposing that the Ottoman Empire grant autonomy to Greece. The Ottoman government rejected these terms. Consequently, the three powers dispatched their fleets to the Mediterranean. Officially, their objective was to enforce an armistice and pressure the Ottoman-Egyptian fleet. On October 20th, 1827, the two sides confronted each other in the Bay of Navarino, modern-day Pylos, Greece. The Ottoman-Egyptian fleet, although numerically superior, was anchored inside the harbor. The combined British, French, and Russian fleet, under the command of British Admiral Codrington, entered the bay. Tensions quickly escalated into open conflict. Once the battle began, the narrow harbor severely limited maneuverability. The Allied fleet was modern, disciplined, and well-coordinated. In contrast, most Ottoman and Egyptian vessels were older sailing warships. A fierce artillery duel erupted. The concentrated firepower of the British and Russian ships in particular inflicted devastating damage on the Ottoman-Egyptian fleet. After approximately 4 hours of intense fighting, the Ottoman-Egyptian fleet was almost completely destroyed. More than 60 ships were sunk or rendered unusable. Thousands of sailors and soldiers lost their lives. In comparison, the Allied fleet suffered relatively minor losses. For the Ottoman Empire, the Battle of Navarino was a catastrophic blow. The destruction of its fleet severely weakened its military presence in the Mediterranean. The event underscored the urgent need for naval reforms during the reign of Sultan Mahmud II. One of the most significant consequences of the battle was the acceleration of Greece's path to independence. Following Navarino, the Ottoman Empire entered into war with Russia, 1828 to 1829. This conflict resulted in heavy losses for the Ottomans, and the Treaty of Adrianople, Edirne, in 1829, effectively recognized Greek independence. From a European perspective, Navarino is often regarded as an early example of humanitarian intervention. However, from the Ottoman point of view, it represented a clear violation of sovereignty and a manifestation of great power politics, driven by strategic interests. The Battle of Navarino also marked a transitional period in naval warfare. The rise of steam-powered vessels and modern naval doctrines signaled the decline of traditional sailing warships. The Ottoman Empire, drawing lessons from this defeat, moved toward modernizing its navy in the years that followed. In conclusion, the Battle of Navarino was not simply a naval engagement. It was a symbol of the Ottoman Empire's 19th century decline. It paved the way for Greek independence, annihilated the Ottoman fleet, and altered the balance of power in Europe. Navarino stands as a dramatic example of how a regional rebellion was transformed into an international crisis by the intervention of great powers. When we look back at history, Navarino was not merely a bay echoing with cannon fire, but a stage upon which the fate of empires was rewritten. For the Ottomans, it was a devastating loss. For the Greeks, a beacon of hope. And for Europe, a strategic victory that reshaped the Mediterranean world. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more historical documentaries.